Guys, welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, Evolution 2025 review. We're going to break it down. This show was a shocker. There was a lot of interesting stuff that happened on this show that can't wait to break it down with the group here. I walked away from this show thoroughly impressed. I thought this was one of the best shows of the weekend, by far the best WWE show of the weekend. I'm on the fence about this one, between this one and the AEW show, but I enjoyed the crap out of the show. The wrestling was excellent. These women left it all on the table, and I think they did a great job. So with that, I'm Mike with 716 Sports Entertainment, joined by Mr. Sean O'Neill. And Sean, how you feeling? How you feeling about that show we watched last night? And thanks to everyone who joined us on the live stream too. That was a lot of fun.
So one thing that I would give them credit to more than the AEW show is that they were working with less for this show. You had less ability to continue your storylines that were going on across your company. Um, and I don't mean this as an insult to the women. I just mean that you didn't have your full roster. And I still think that if you take that into account, this show was just as good as a full roster AEW show was. I mean, I still think All In was probably the better show of the weekend overall, but I think that Evolution was a close second. You were 100% right. These women left everything in the ring, and I mean, outside of a match, I think that I was impressed by everything on this show. Obviously, we're going to break down each match and give our thoughts. So I will let you start. We can get into what I didn't like.
Yeah, so the show proper opened up with the Women's Intercontinental Championship match between Becky Lynch, Bayley, and Lyra Valkyria. And of all the matches on the show, this was the one that had the most story, I think, going into it, because some of these matches were certainly just thrown together. And that doesn't mean that the matches themselves were bad. It just maybe means that the stories weren't as great as they could have been. But with that, by this one by far had the most story going into it. These women, other than the no holds barred match, these women definitely had the most kind of animosity towards one another. And this match was fantastic. I mean, all three of these women are excellent. I've said numerous times in this channel how much I just love Bayley, and I just think she's so underappreciated sometimes and doesn't always get the flowers that she deserves. But I mean, these women left it all on the table, and surprisingly, Becky retained. It's right towards the end of the match. Lyra kind of hit a Nightwing onto Becky, tossed her out the ring. And then Bayley went for the rose plant on Lyra, but Becky found herself back in the ring and rolled up Bayley for the win right after that rose plant in a really interesting sequence, which allowed Becky to retain the championship. So, how'd you feel about the match, and where do you think we go from here?
So I think T was the one who predicted this one correct out of us, right?
Yes.
I'm also going to give credit to the our viewer for our live stream last night, Mr. V2, predicting this one correctly as well. Um, I think that this leaves WWE in a little bit of a bind, though, as to what they're going to do for that belt, especially for SummerSlam coming up. I think that Becky retaining wasn't the right choice. I mean, it was a hell of a match. These three women know each other so well, and at this point dislike each other enough that you could tell they were beating the hell out of each other in the ring. I love the fact that Bayley jumped Lyra first instead of Becky at the beginning. That definitely started the match off with a little bit more violence than I expected. But I don't know. I'm still of the opinion that Bayley should have won here. She's been chasing this belt since technically before WrestleMania, before she teamed up with Lyra, and with everything that's happened to her, I think she deserves to have it. And unless this turns into a singles match at SummerSlam between her and Becky, I really don't know where they're going with this one.
Yeah, I'm really kind of struggling to see where all three of these women go, because it seems like Becky's gotten definitive wins, right? Like Becky's gotten a definitive win over Bayley. She's gotten a definitive win over Lyra. I mean,
Right.
it seems like this really should have been, you shouldn't have done the match with Becky and Bayley on, what was it, on Raw when they did that,
Yeah.
when Lyra technically interfered. I mean, Bayley has some, kind of something to say, like where she could probably go on about how she might have been cheated, I mean, because of the way the ending sequence kind of happened and how Bayley got screwed in their singles match as well when Lyra came in and interfered. So, I mean, Bailey has a reason, not a very good one, but a reason with which to kind of want another match, I guess, which, I mean, with SummerSlam only being 3 weeks away, that's probably the direction they're going to go. Um, but, I guess we'll kind of have to wait and see.
I think that, like you said, Bailey's argument being that she never actually got her clean singles match against Becky
Yeah.
is going to be have to be the direction they go. And of course, Lyra's going to bitch about it. And I don't know where the problem is I don't know where they put her in this because with the way they've been pushing her and with how good she's gotten both on the mic and we already knew she was in the ring, I can't see them having a 2 night SummerSlam without her on it too.
Yeah, I mean, well, and Becky, right? Like Becky, a thousand
Yeah.
percent is going to be on SummerSlam. Like we were talking about this, and we'll get into it when we get into the main event a little bit. But like, it's going to be very interesting to see where they go with some of these women, especially some of these ones who are kind of their pillars, right? Like they're big stars. So, but overall, man, fantastic match, and I love the crap out of this. And this was a great way to kick off this show. It was one of the best matches of the night.
Yep.
Um, Moving on, we had the first real surprise, I think, of the night, which absolutely stunned me, in JC Jane versus Jordan Grace. And so JC Jane came out with Fatal Influence to her side, and Grace came out with Blake Monroe from previously on NXT when they kind of formed sort of a semi alliance where she asked her to be in her corner. And to everyone's surprise, JC Jane walked away with the championship when it was all said and done. And why don't you go ahead and fill us in on the details of this match and the kind of crazy shenanigans that happened at the end?
So obviously the finish to this match came when Blake Monroe took out the members of Fatal Influence and acted like she had Jordan's back, only to then hit her with the title belt when the ref's back was turned, allowing JC Jane to hit her rolling like elbow move and pick up the win. I have a couple questions here though. I mean, we've been talking about this. If any of you caught our live stream, we talked about it there. Um, Blake Monroe is a natural heel. Like
Hmm.
not just her character, but her personally. We saw it when she was in AEW. I mean, yeah, she was able to play a quasi face for a while when she was with Tony Storm before turning on her. But we all saw how much better she was once she turned on Tony Storm over there. And this woman is meant to always be the villain.
Yep.
Um, my bigger question out of all this was A, was it too soon? And B, where does Jordan Grace go now? I mean, this was now her third time failing to get this title. And and my last point is, do we think that we had JC Jane go over because of how many people on the swamp that is the Twitter sphere were talking about how she was the most beatable champion ever? Do we think
Well, they
this
even
was
mentioned they
WWE
mentioned that on commentary though. Like even
was
even bum ass Michael
right?
Cole mentioned that as well.
But was this WWE sticking it to them, to the Twitterverse with that, and by having JC go over? I mean, there's a couple questions for you. I don't know what your thoughts are on them.
I mean, maybe. I mean, WWE does like to do, I mean, not WWE, Triple H likes to do that. Like, he certainly loves to stick it to the internet community, even though he says that he doesn't read any of that crap. He's full of shit. He absolutely does. Um, but yeah, maybe. I mean, we needed to turn Blake Monroe heel. I mean, that needed to happen. I was kind of expecting it to happen after a Jordan Grace title win. I mean, we
Yep.
mentioned this during the live stream to your point. Jordan Grace is 0-3 now going for this championship. So, like, I frankly don't think of her as a respectable opponent to go for this championship anymore. She's lost 3 times. And
Yeah.
I mean, it should be other people in that title picture at this point. And we're obviously going to get a program between her and Blake. I'm sure it's going to be awesome because they're both fantastic. But Blake, I think, needs to come out ahead here. And I mean, I have no doubt that Blake will be the NXT Women's Champion probably before the end of the year, And yeah, I mean, Jordan Grace, I think after that program is over, you'll probably see her in the Women's Royal Rumble next year. Because she'll probably have a 3 to 6 month program with Blake, and then she'll do some other match, I'm sure, and then she'll be in the Women's Royal Rumble, and you'll probably see her on the main roster after that.
Unless her swan song in NXT there is putting Blake over, and then she gets the call up. Because there was talk that when Stephanie and Julia and them all came up, especially when Stephanie Verkirk came up after Julia and Roxanne, that
Hmm.
Jordan was coming up as well and going to SmackDown. Because
Hmm.
Raw got Roxanne and Stephanie, whereas SmackDown only got Julia. So do we think that this is maybe a month, maybe 2 months at most program, and she gets the call up after that?
Mm, I just don't know what you do with her, right? Like, I feel like the Royal Rumble seems like a good spot to start that kind of thing, but maybe you're right. I mean, I don't really know, like when you would bring her up, and I mean, to be honest with you, there's like so much going on right now that I worry that she might get lost in the shuffle. Like you need to bring her up and have her start a program with somebody. And a really easy way to do that is have her debut in the Royal Rumble and have her like, I don't know, toss out Julia from the Royal Rumble or something like that if Julia's still the champion at that point. Or, toss out
Charlotte.
Charlotte and start a program like that going into that'd be a cool match going into WrestleMania, right? Be a real easy way to kind of start a pro. Like, look at that's how they did the thing with Logan Paul, right? Last year, or the year before, where he just came in and he tossed out Seth Rollins, and that was your Mania match. Like, I mean, you could
Yeah.
absolutely do that.
I just I have a hard time seeing anything else that they're going to do with Jordan at this point, though.
Mhm.
Simply because of her going 0-3 for that title. I mean, she's supposed to be this powerhouse, and they present her like this unstoppable powerhouse. Yet now she's been stopped 3 times.
Yeah.
And I mean,
No.
it's not even necessarily her fault. I mean, one of those 3 times was a fatal four way, where she didn't take the pin, and then this one she was cheated. So I guess I mean 2 out of the 3 times there's an asterisk next to,
Mhm.
unless they use that as their storyline and say, oh well, I've been cheated multiple times. I deserve one last shot at this.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think you're right. I think that makes a lot of sense, but I guess we'll just kind of have to wait and see, right? I don't really like too. I haven't really given it much thought, like to be completely honest with you, because of like all the other stuff that happened on this show. Kind of after that, like once this match was over, I kind of stopped thinking about it a little bit and kind of went on to the other things. But yeah, I mean, I certainly think she's not going to be in NXT much longer. So I mean, that's definitely a given. I think. So she has to go through
Yeah,
this program with Blake, obviously, but I think that'll probably be it. So next we had the women's tag team championship match between Raquel Rodriguez, Roxanne Perez, versus the hodgepodge team of Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, the Kabuki Warriors of Asuka and Kairi Sane, and the NXT team of Sol Ruka and Zarya. This match was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this match a lot. There was no doubt in my mind that Raquel and Roxanne were going to retain here. It made, we all predicted that. It kind of made the most sense. But everybody got their chance to shine a little bit. I actually kind of thought that Asuka and Kairi were the weak links of this match. They didn't really they got a little bit of offense in. I really liked Asuka's outfit, the bodysuit that silver suit that she was wearing.
yep.
That was real cool looking. Um, but they didn't really get. I don't think they got like their most like the biggest moment to shine out of everybody else. Zarya and Sol Ruka got a ton of like polish in this match, and Sol hit an incredible Soul Snatcher on Charlotte, which I still cannot believe she like even was able to pull off. But the ending sequence was really well done. Zarya was attempting to go for a spear on Alexa Bliss when Charlotte pulled her out of the way, and she ended up spearing her own partner, Sol Ruka. And then they proceeded to kind of get tossed out of the ring, and Raquel hit just what is that move called? It was just kind of like a
It's a
big,
Hanaball.
yeah, like a Tahana bomb on Sol and hit her for the 1, 2, 3, and they retained. And it was kind of like this match actually, to be honest with you, I think this match could have gone another. few minutes. Like I could have gotten 5 or 10 more minutes out of this match. I don't think it was very long. I read this morning that it only went for like 15 or 16 minutes. And I was thinking like this match probably could have benefited from more time. But I mean, it was a great match, and the right team won.
Yeah, no, the storyline wise, 100% the correct team won. They couldn't, it wouldn't have made sense to have the Judgment Day drop the titles with Roxanne in her first defense. They need to keep building that story of where Liv is going to end up being jealous of basically her becoming friends with everybody, and taking her spot because that's basically what she's doing.
Mhm.
Every woman in this match brought their A game. That Soul Snatcher to Charlotte. I'm shocked it was Charlotte that took it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me too.
Um, and I think that that ending sequence starting off with Charlotte saving Alexa is going to be the start of your storyline to us building to that tag team match between the Judgment Day and Charlotte Alexa at
Oh, a thousand
SummerSlam.
percent. 1,000%.
Um, and the story will be that the two of them are just becoming more cohesive. I mean, your typical storyline of two frenemies teaming up.
Mhm.
And I think that the right call is to have them drop the title at SummerSlam to them.
And you know what was really cool too to see, which I mean, I know we crap on Charlotte a lot on this channel, but it was really cool to see how into Charlotte the crowd was.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
Charlotte was, I mean, other than Rhea and Io, Charlotte was the biggest star on this show. She got the biggest pops. They were chanting for her to make the hot tag when Alexa was getting beat down in the middle of this match. And I was really surprised by that. And I think that this is a good spot for Charlotte. And like you could kind of tell when she was coming down to the ring with Alexa, when Alexa tossed her the Lily doll and she kind of flashed a quick smile, and it was almost
Yep.
like you can tell she's kind of enjoying this a little bit. And I like that, like I don't want to hate on anybody too much. Charlotte obviously gets the Hulk Hogan treatment a little bit. Um, but yeah, I think this is a good spot for Charlotte, and I think like keeping her out of the main title picture, because that's where everybody kind of gets the fatigue from her a little bit. It's a good spot to be for her.
I think Alexa Bliss is the perfect person to pair her with too for this because
Yep.
Alexa Bliss, no matter if she's a heel or a face, is incredibly likable. Um, and like you just said, I made the comment when we were watching that little smirk that Charlotte gave, I don't think was meant to be seen, but you can tell that actually she's having fun again.
Yeah.
And I mean, because during that whole run up to WrestleMania between her and Tiffany, it almost seemed like she hated being there. And with the way the crowd was treating her. And now that we see the crowd start, and I hate saying this because I don't like Charlotte generally, but I'm glad to see the crowd turning back in her favor, and maybe WWE is finally starting to understand what they need to do with her.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right. And I think that I think this is a good spot for her. I think that, like I had mentioned earlier, just you need to keep her away from the title picture for a while. And you kind of just you need to see where this whole thing goes. And I think the tag team, just the whole tag team scene is it's a good spot for her, um, there's that whole division is in just desperate need of like more tag teams. Like if you really want to take it seriously, like if we're gonna end up having Asuka and Kyrie, continue to do that, then that's fine. But I mean, after the main event, I kind of think Asuka might be going in a different direction. But we'll certainly get to that. So the next couple of matches here, I'll talk about the one, and then I know you're going to have a lot of feedback on the other one. So next, we had Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratus for the WWE the Women's Championship. And I don't really have much to say about this match. I mean, obviously, Tiffany was never going to lose here. And this match only went for like maybe 8 or 9 minutes, and it was like a relatively nothing match. I mean, Trish got a few spots of offense in, but I mean, unfortunately, like everything else, Trish was definitely starting to show her age a little bit, and she was really, she was slowing down. But she got a nice ovation from the crowd when she hit, Stratusfaction, and I mean, she looked all right. But like I said, there was no doubt Tiffany wasn't going to win here, and after an initial prettiest moonsault was blocked by the knees, Tiffany hit her with a slam and then got another one for the quick 1, 2, 3. And then, after this was all done, Tiffany got out the ring pretty quick and was kind of escorted to the back by a ref, which was weird. And Trish got kind of a standing ovation in the ring when it was all done.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. It was, has there been any news about anything? Is Tiffany hurt or something? Like that was just, it was kind of bizarre because we even remarked about it while we were watching. Um,
It was
but
almost like
as
they
far,
just kind of wanted to like give Trish her moment without
yeah,
Tiffany like, being there.
as far as the actual match itself goes, it was pretty much what I expected it to be. I mean, you have a 50-year-old Trish who doesn't really wrestle that often. So she did, there were a couple points where she looked kind of rough. That Stratisfaction, it looked like Tiffany definitely helped her get that pulled
Oh
off.
yeah,
Um, but I mean, she hit all her known moves. I mean, she still looks good, and there was no question to this one. The only way Trish would have won is if Naomi were going to cash in on her, and with the Naomi Jade match happening after this, there was no way that was happening. So this match was a foregone conclusion. It's about the only thing I think that took away from it. Like if I were WWE, I would have had the Naomi Jade match on before this to leave that question mark in the air.
yeah, yeah. I think I agree with you on that. So next, I'll let you talk about this one because I know you have a lot to say about the Jade Cargill and Naomi match, the no holds barred match, which saw Jade beat Naomi clean with Bianca Belair as the special guest referee, who surprisingly didn't do much in this match. Like as far as like, being the special guest referee, she really didn't get involved like at all. And Jade put her Naomi through a table at the end for the win. I mean, this was a hard hitting and there was, certainly some spots, but I'll let you take over on this one because I know you have a lot to say about it.
So everybody who watches our show knows my opinion of Jade Cargill. I don't think she is as good as WWE wants us to think she is. That being said, I think that these kind of matches can be used to make her look better than she actually is
Mhm.
because these no holds barred and extreme rules type matches allow you to cover up your lack of ring skills with just everything else going on. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, there's just so much going on in them. I mean, I still think it's a mistake that Jade has won every one of their matches. Just for storyline purposes, I don't think that that is good. I mean, obviously, I'm going to have some more to say about this based on what happened later in the night once we talk about that. So I sort of understand why Naomi lost here because of that. Like if we think back to what happened at that WrestleMania when Seth Rollins as the briefcase holder lost to I believe it was Randy Orton in the opening
Mhm.
match of that Mania and then cashed in on Lesnar and Reigns later that night. So there's definitely a precedent for what happened here, but I don't quite understand why they feel this need to have Jade just go over constantly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're trying to package her like a big star, but
And you were right about Bianca too. Like, why was Bianca even the ref in this?
no.
Like, she didn't get in anybody's face. She didn't. I mean, yeah, she kept being kind of obnoxious and asking, "Are you all right? Are you all right? Are you all right?" Like, you're supposed to be an impartial ref. Like, get in somebody's face or do something. But that wasn't it. I don't think she even needed to be on this.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was just a way to get her on the show because she clearly couldn't wrestle with the busted hand, and she wasn't going to be in the next match for the battle royal. Which, yeah, we'll get into that, I guess. The so next was the women's number one contender battle royal match for a title shot at the Clash in Paris show, and this pretty much saw every one of the women on the roster. Surprisingly, hardly any legends in this match, and they all got in there, and the winner got a title shot at the Clash in Paris show. And to nobody's surprise, I think it was going to be between likely, Stephanie Vacquer and Nikki Bella, and Stephanie Vacquer picked up the win. The final four in this match were Lash Legend, Nia Jax, Stephanie McCour, and Nikki Bella. And a lot of the women in this match got some big spots. Zelina tossed out Julia, and she kind of was looking a little heelish there. So we'll likely see maybe a rematch between those two. Although Julia's a heel, so I don't really know what we're doing there. And then there were a couple other spots where the Secret Harvest tossed out a few people as well. And Chelsea looked great. I was actually thinking Chelsea was going to win for a little while. But as I mentioned, Nia, Lash Legend, Stephanie, and Nikki were the final four. Nikki got tossed out first, and then Stephanie and Lash got Nia over the top rope and eliminated her. And Stephanie kind of hit her with like a butt drop after Lash was kind of pushing her off the apron to get her out. And then kind of after that, it was no doubt that Stephanie was going to win. And, sure enough, Stephanie picked up the win. And the other Stephanie, who was on commentary all night, the McMahon variety, came in and kind of congratulated her and, told her that, you're going to Clash in Paris for the number one contenders for the title. And, she spoke to her, she kind of addressed the crowd in her native Spanish. And it's a nice moment. I'm really happy for Stephanie Vicker. And I think that, they've obviously strapped the rocket to her. And she's got a very bright future in the company.
So obviously we'll talk about some of that after the main event talk here. But I really liked her comment about how English isn't her first language, but wrestling is. I
Yeah.
thought that was kind of cool. I'm shocked that they had Lash Legend be in the final two. That is
Mhm.
definitely not something that I would have put money on. I really would have thought it would have been Nikki Bella and and Stephanie. Um, I think that they progressed some storylines with the people they had get eliminated. Is Julia technically a heel?
Yeah, she turned heel on Zelina to win the title.
So yeah, what are they doing with having Zelina go heelish too?
No
Like
idea.
that's weird. But at the end with the final four that was there, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of worried that they were gonna go the Nikki Bella route. And I do want to make one comment. And it's about BFAB and Meechin. So WWE for years has been trying to have the world take the women's division seriously. And that started when they had their first evolution. It started when it no longer was the Divas Championship, when it became the Women's Championship. And I mean, yeah, you have people like Nikki Bella who does her stupid little dance as a taunt, but tell me why you have in the middle of this match, B-Fab and Meechin start twerking in the middle of the ring. I feel like that does nothing except set back what they're trying to do with this women's division because that's what they've tried to get away from. Everyone they want you to take all of these women seriously, and doing that in the middle of the match, and it was early in the match too, when there were a ton of people still in the ring, not only makes no sense, but it's borderline offensive. Like as far as like in the sense of the stupidity of it.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. I don't know, after giving it some thought, because I know we talked about it after the show last night. I'm not like offended by it. I'm just like to your
I
point
don't think
about us wanting to take, you want people to take women's wrestling a bit more seriously. And these women kept, these a lot of women fought really hard for these women to not be treated like sex objects. And like, what are you doing? I mean, because I mean, is this me just being old man yelling at clouds? Like, are you, is it like, are you empowered by doing that? I mean, and please, anybody, like, we're not, I'm not trying to criticize here. Like, I'd love to hear people's comments in the, in the comment section down below on this and like kind of what your thoughts are on this. Like, like, is this setting women back or is this really just, empowerment for these women? Like, I kind of find it a little distasteful because I kind of think that like to your point, Sean, these women fought really hard to have this moment and they're really trying to get away from that. But I mean, at the same time, it's showing that women can do anything, I guess. So I don't really know
so.
like what side of the fence I fall on this anymore, but yeah, I
To
probably could have talked about that.
to clarify what I meant by offended, I didn't mean offended by what they did. I mean offended by we're expected to take this. this whole thing seriously. And I just felt like you said, you've had these legends. You've had people like AJ Lee, the Four Horsewomen, even Paige, who've
Mhm.
come in and who have done monumental things to turn this women's division into something that can be taken seriously alongside the men's division. I mean, yeah, we see dumb stuff like Nia Jackson that all the time still, but this in the last 10 to 15 years, this women's division has taken 1,000 steps forward. And I feel
Mhm.
like this was just a couple steps back for no reason.
Yeah, I think I think I would agree with you. So this this led us into the main event between Io Sky and Rhea Ripley for the WWE Women's World Heavyweight Championship. And I mean, what more can I say about this match? It was awesome. I mean, it was no
Hell of a
doubt it
match.
was like this was the main event for a reason. These two women are some of the biggest stars in the company. They looked great, and the whole match was really played around Rhea's ability to not beat Io. And I mean, Io constantly had her number throughout this match. Always was getting perfect counterattacks on everything Rhea was trying to do, and always seemed to kind of one up her. She was, taunted her a couple of times throughout this match, and it was just absolutely fantastic watching Io, just have Rhea's number throughout this. And then towards the ending sequence of the match, Io went up for a missile drop kick, ended up taking out the ref, and Rhea got the riptide in for the visual 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And obviously this kind of caused Rhea to lose it, and they kind of brawled throughout the ring or out throughout the outside of the ring, and were kind of just beating each other senseless throughout there, hitting each other with, different props going around. Io ended up hitting kind of a crazy moonsault off of like some sound equipment on the outside of the arena there, and ended up brawling themselves back into the ring. Io hit the over the moonsault, and Rhea kicked out. And then Rhea attempted to try and get her up onto the ring apron for like a super riptide, if you will. And she ended up kind of getting her down. Like Io kind of like flipped her down, and then they were both down on the
Was
uh
finish
the
line.
mat there. And we got Naomi's music out of nowhere. Naomi came in for the cash in. I didn't think she was going to do it. Like, I thought she was going to, like, kind of hesitate or fail or something like that. But no, she cashed right in. She clocked Io in the face with the briefcase, and then tossed Rhea into the post. Rhea went outside. She did her flip, whatever the hell her move is called. Where she kind of flips over, similar to what all these women do with kind of their moonsault, and she pinned Io for the 1, 2, 3. And Naomi is your new Raw Women's Champion.
I think the biggest shock out of this is nobody would have expected this. I mean, with the way
Mm.
Naomi kept going after Tiffany, I mean, did you think that this was even a potential? Because none of us even mentioned this.
Nobody
And
thought this
now,
was it.
which is the point I made earlier about it now making sense why Naomi lost that match to Jade.
Hmm.
Because a lot of the times we've talked about it the last couple of weeks, you see that Money in the Bank briefcase holder just lose, lose, lose until they win. Um, I think the best. I mean, I'm kind of disappointed to see Io drop the belt. I did want to see Asuka Io at SummerSlam. I think that would have been real fun. However, this opens up so many directions that they can go now. I mean,
Hmm.
obviously the match itself was great, but the bigger story is now where do we go going forward? And I think you and I talked about it yesterday afterwards that this now gives Jade a target instead of Tiffany because
Yeah.
you know as well as I do that her hatred for Naomi is going to impact her decision. And
Oh yeah.
I just I just really hope that WWE does the right thing and has Naomi win their first match. I
Well,
don't
they're
think
like
Naomi
their third match technically, but
or title match. I don't think that her being a 3 week champion is the smart play here. Um, but the other problem that arises out of this is with Stephanie Vaquer having won that Royal Rumble or that Battle Royale. Where does she go from this? Does she go after the winner of the Jade, the most likely Jade Naomi match, or does she go after whoever wins Tiffany Stratton's match?
well, we don't even know who Tiffany's going to go up against at SummerSlam. But I think. it makes a lot more sense now for it to be Tiffany, right? Like you could have Tiffany go up against anybody for SummerSlam, and then the Paris show is where you have her go up against Stephanie, and then you have her beat. I think that's when Stephanie becomes the champion and becomes
Yeah.
this champion on SmackDown.
Stephanie is a face, correct?
Yeah. And Tiffany kind of
You
goes either way.
realize you realize what's cool about that is that if she goes and takes the title off Tiffany, we have a ready-made feud then between Julia and Vicker.
Yep. Which they they're
And
gonna they're gonna play the shit out of that.
I take all my money. I am 100%. You give me a 2 year long feud between the two of them, and
Mhm.
I will pay for it.
Yeah. Hell, you know what? Have Julia win the Royal Rumble and
Yeah.
have Julia and Stephanie at WrestleMania.
Talk
I
about
love it.
an incredible WrestleMania event. I mean, a WrestleMania women's event. I mean, these
Yep.
two women have barely been here a year, and we're already talking WrestleMania for them.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
I think
Astounding.
so. That leads me into my final point. I think about this show. I think this show, for the most part, did great things for WWE's women's division. And I mean, not that there's a whole lot of competition out there for WWE's women's division. Not many other companies have great women's divisions. They might have one or two great people, but this showcased that across the board, almost top to bottom, even you're not super big name stars in WWE are great at what they do. I mean, everybody in that battle royal looked great. Every woman in these other matches, like we said earlier in the show, they left it all in the ring, and it was great storytelling wise. It was great action wise, and I have a lot of hope for the future. And I hate to say this because we joke about Evolution as a show, but if this is the quality of what they're going to put on, give me it again next year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I love this show. It was the best WWE show of the weekend. So, hands down. So, yeah. So, guys, that was WWE Evolution 2025, and we enjoyed it. And thank you guys so much for joining us. Looking forward to Raw tonight. It's going to be a great show. They announced that there is going to be a gauntlet match between CM Punk, LA Knight, Braun Breaker, Penta, and who am I missing? Somebody else. Who's the fifth person? Damien, not
Was
Damien
it Jay?
Priest. Jay for a shot at Gunther for SummerSlam, which, obviously given the injury to Rollins is certainly going to be a pivot. And it'll be interesting to see where we go for that.
That's what
So,
I want to hear.
yeah, me too. So, with that, I have been Mike with 716 Sports Entertainment and with Mr. Sean O'Neill. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Smash that like and subscribe button. Let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. And as always, have yourselves a great day and take care.